Hello, I'm your narrator, Reginald Spencer. The creation of About That Life was intended for a low performing 7th grade math student who needed to be retaught a 7th grade math teach readiness skill from the first semester as an instructional intervention. Now that I have introduced myself, let's talk about the rules of the game. The main objective of the game is to graduate from the simulated high school, college, and get a virtual professional job without being in debt, all before the game's completion deadline. Students will play individually, compete against all users, and the game is also self-paced. Students will also be able to access the game as well as viewing overall standings amongst other players or users on the Edgenuity software. I will implement the simulation by training the staff week 1 and hosting 2 Saturday webinars week 3 and 5 on Hangout for additional instructions and immediate feedback. I will evaluate the implementation week 2, student progress week 4 and 6, and student achievement week 8. About That Life simulation has 3 stages with various levels. Students will have to complete each level with an 85% accuracy rate. Students will be rewarded for 95% or better. Each level will have at least 1 model question, 1 guided practice problem, 4 independent problems, and 4 demonstrations of learning questions. Each level, students can earn credit that will be issued out in the form of early graduation, scholarships, internships, executive promotional jobs, and early retirement. This simulation has a lifespan of 7 weeks to ensure that students are actively engaged in the lesson. The general audience are the inner city urban youth. This simulation focuses on the 7th grade math students, predominantly low income and or below poverty African American or Mexican American minorities, whose primary language is English speaking. The students will be able to access the simulation in class on their laptops, Chromebooks, or out of class on their cell phone or other mobile devices. This simulation was designed to help low-performing students on their STAR Math exam. As an educator and an alum of one of the nation's largest inner-city public school systems, I want students to understand the importance of a college education while taking the financial cost of paying for college into consideration. I want to make inner cities low-income young students aware of college readiness programs that are available at most high schools, such as pre-AP, AP, Honor, IB, dual credit, and early college classes. I want to expose those students to the financial responsibility that is involved in paying for college tuition. I also want to allow students to explore professional goals after graduating from college and integrating into the real world, starting a career, having a family, and eventually retiring. The purpose of this game or simulation is to promote a positive learning environment, increase student achievement, and increase student awareness about college prep and career development in low-income urban areas. Before I go any further, let me give you some background about myself. I grew up in the 90s. I was a typical student athlete from the inner city. However, many of my friends thought I was more like Carlton from Fresh Prince because I was so business-minded. Although I had hard-working, dedicated teachers, when I was in school, I didn't take learning serious. Like many of my childhood friends, I thought I was going to be the next star athlete to make it in professional sports. However, only 2% of all high school athletes win scholarships at NCAA universities and colleges. By the end of my senior year of high school, I only had 1 partial scholarship offer, which was a Division III college located in a small town out of state. So after high school, I stopped playing football and focused on my academics. They used to tell me if you wanted to get rich, then be a professional athlete or a rapper. But no one ever told me that 95% of all recording artists do not generate a royalty check. I knew that I did not want to become a professional athlete or a rapper. but I have always had a strong passion for doing business. So I started researching the top business schools in the nation and state. Before I graduated from high school, I took a college road trip. I wanted to visit each college that I was considering. This trip was very important in helping me decide which college I would attend in the fall. I had to consider curriculum, cost, distance, and preference. I graduated from high school ranked in the top 20% of my senior class. There was no way in the world I was ready for college. Plus, I had senioritis. And I kept asking myself one question: what do I do now? I attended a regional university that was about 50 miles away from my hometown. This university's business program was ranked number 9 in the state and was also number 2 overall in the state for affordability. College was a culture shock. I had to engage with individuals from different backgrounds. In college, everyone is going in their own direction, and I was still trying to find my pathway to success. I quickly realized that college instructors use many different methods of teaching. Not all of their methods were effective. However, it was my responsibility to complete all of my assignments on time. During my freshman year of college, I became easily distracted and off task. These bad behaviors led me to being placed on academic suspension. Without having any idea of what to do next, I became a college dropout. When I returned home from college, I had several people trying to give me career advice. People suggested that I get a temp job working as an office assistant, but the pay was low and the work hours were not guaranteed. Many people suggested that I get a vocational job like a barber, but I would have had to enroll in barber college and I would have had to have 1,800 hours of training before I could start cutting hair. People suggested that I drive trucks for a living. However, I would have had to attend a truck driving school which cost around $5,000. I finally figured out that I was not looking for a career, I was simply looking for a job. I finally got hired on as a bulk route salesman for the Pepsi bottling group. This job paid very well. I was able to pay my bills on time. But without a college education, I could not advance into a managerial position. During my college years, the most frequently asked question that I had was, what do I do next? Now, since I have become a math educator, the most frequently asked question by my students is, what do I do next? About their life, game, or simulation will prepare students to answer this question.
I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way?